Good afternoon. It's January 24th, 2024, and today we had a range day, but it really felt like a downward day because we peaked at about 8:30 a.m. and just had this spike in channel uh, with an overshoot of that channel at the end of the day. So not a whole lot of trades. You can see we broke out to the high side and tried to make a measured move from the midline. Um, on my chart, it comes up a little bit short, but then to the low side, it uh, pretty much makes a perfect measure move, I think. Oops. Yeah, you can see that's almost perfect. So I believe that's what happened. Um, and yeah, these things happen all the time. So it can usually be explained what happens with prices. So anyway, in the overnight we were just going sideways, and then we broke a bit lower, and that failed. And then we tested this price level, and then started going lower. And you do get a failed second entry long. That's also a second entry short. So maybe you consider that. To me, it just looks too sideways to really want to take that. If you look at like this, I don't think that's enough context to be just going long, short right into the lows. But anyway, it works out. And then we get a break of this channel, move to a new low. And we hit this measured move here that forms the overnight range, and we bounce. And so, I think, oops. So I think there's reasons to consider this higher low here, but I think that's very aggressive and a very advanced entry. But anyway, we spike up into this range right after market open. We come up, we test the midline once, twice, and we test it a third time. That's also a second entry short. Only reason I marked this aggressive is because we had a pretty strong leg up into this. And we're making higher highs and higher lows. So it's pretty clear that the bias is up. But second entry, some space back to the EMA. It looks pretty good. But eventually we break out, move higher, and we get this spike in channel up. And we come up to test the overnight highs. And you do get this matching high. Problem is it's really a higher high. So again, this is very aggressive. You don't know what's going on right now, but that's a bearish bar. When you get this lower high, maybe you consider that one. Either of them work, but they don't go very far, and we go sideways for a bit before we get another leg up, and you get a break. So very clear. There's clearly a break, move to a new high, tries to make a new high, and then you get another lower high, and that looks pretty damn good. I marked this green, but with the lower high here, we broke below the EMA here. You get a second entry short. Not to mention the risk reward here is pretty phenomenal. That's a good trade. You can see plenty of people like that form this channel down. You get a couple of overshoots that lead to a break. So I guess technically you could take this. It's a second entry after the break, expecting a new low. But then you get an inside bar. And so it's not the greatest entry. Come down here, we make a new low, and you do get a second entry short again. I marked this red because it's a lower high, and given the context of the day, I think we're probably going to test this midline. So I like that personally. I could see why some people might argue for it to be green. And it does go sideways before it goes down. And you can see we just get a strong move to a new low, and then we get some correction and some sideways stuff. And then we go lower. So, I didn't really see this channel earlier, this channel. So this is a second entry off of that channel. And this is a very bearish lower high off of that channel. And then you get a failure right off of that channel. I'm going to mark this one green because it looks like, from my perspective, you could be going into support there. But that might be one that gets marked red by Matt. Probably not, because it's so much overlap. So we have this channel down, and then we get find some support here, get a leg up, two-legged correction, another leg up, and then it sells off. And we go sideways at the overnight lows, move up sideways, and then that's a failed second entry long. And maybe you take that. I'm not so sure why so many people liked it, other than the fact that it's off the EMA. But it looks pretty aggressive to me, and it ends up being a very good trade. So that's how I saw it. So I hope everyone had a great day. Let's see the daily chart. So we closed this gap I was talking about yesterday to this high right here. And I think the next gap will be slightly lower. So I think this is the next target. And that, that's only 13 points from where we're at right now. So that shouldn't be too difficult. And then the next target for me is this 46.56 level. It could never come back to this level ever again in history, but it probably will. So hope everyone had a great day. I'll be back tomorrow.